As we move into 2023, 5G is more accessible, and that's why more manufacturers are making more 5G smartphones, and as a result, more people are buying these 5G smartphones. Well, to back that fact up, in January 2023, we can see that in India, the Samsung A14 5G was one of the best selling smartphones. And if we backtrack a little bit, we can see that Samsung's A13 5G was one of the best selling smartphones even in the US. There's a fact that the A13, Samsung's one of the cheapest phone, A13, was one of the best selling smartphones of 2022. So we can conclude that cheap 5G smartphones are getting popular and Samsung cheap A series smartphones are popular as well. So I think that this phone, the Samsung M14 5G, has what it takes to be one of the best selling smartphones of 2023. Why? Well, let's take a look at it. So the first reason is that this is a cheap 5G smartphone. So the M14 5G starts at 14,099 Indian rupees, which is equivalent to 184 US dollars, and goes for 190 US dollars for the 6128GB variant. Likewise, in Malaysia, this goes for 900 Malaysian ringgit, which is equivalent to 194 US dollars. So there's a slight price difference according to some country, and it will be a little bit expensive in the Europe, but this has not been launched everywhere. So why does Samsung not want you to buy this smartphone, and why is it not selling this smartphone everywhere in the world?
Wow.
Why would you want to sell a cheaper phone if you're already selling similar phone for a premium price tag? So if you take a look at the A14 5G, it is similar to the M14 5G. They share the same spec list, well, not same, similar. They use the same camera sensor, same 90Hz display. But in the UK, the A14 5G goes for 271 US dollars just for the 64GB storage variant, and this one is 191 US dollars. It is not yet available in the UK, but if you look at the international prices, this should go for around 200 US dollars for the 128GB storage variant. Well, the A14 5G and M14 5G is very similar. Well, the design is slightly more premium on the A14 5G. It has flat frames like the S23, but this one has more curved frame. So yes, that's the only difference. Else, they share the same spec list, but this one is even better. Why? This one has 6000 mAh battery compared to 5000 mAh on the A14 5G. So yes, this can last for 6 hours of screen on time, even when you are using data, mobile data. So I was testing this phone and using mobile data continuously, and this gave me 6 hours of screen on time. So that is really massive. You can go for almost more than 2 days on the smartphone. And this one also comes with 25-watt fast charging, so that takes 1.5 hours to fully charge the battery from 0 to 100%. If you use the 15-watt charger, it will take 3 hours. The thing is, you do not get any kind of charger in the box. So I've said that this could be one of the best selling smartphone, but this one has limited availability. So it is available in India and also in market like ours, Nepal, as CA reason, but it is not available thoroughly in markets like the Europe. But if they want, they can really push this smartphone with their huge retail networking and offline marketing, especially in region like ours, Nepal, where the offline market is really strong and the consumers are not really tech savvy. And what I mean by that is you and I are in the minority. So majority of the consumers out there really don't care if they see an octa-core processor listed on the Samsung's official website. They're not gonna really care if it is from Qualcomm, from MediaTek, or Exynos. And in this case, it is the Samsung's own Exynos 1330 5G chipset which powers the M14 5G, and to be honest, it is not that good. The phone feels slow. There are tons of animation lags while using apps extensively, or even when switching apps, you'll find lots of animation lag. I'm not impressed with the performance. It is really sluggish. I switch between social media and emails constantly when I'm using the phone, and yes, this phone feels sluggish. But hey, the A14 5G also had the same chipset, and you guys bought it. It is one of the best selling smartphones, the A14 5G, and that further reinforces what I said earlier. People don't really care. You and I are in the minority, the people who really care. But it's not that bad in terms of camera. So the camera, it is using a triple camera setup. It has a 50 megapixel main sensor, a 2 megapixel depth, and a 2 megapixel macro sensor. And the main sensor is really good for the price because it captures sharp photos. The color is also nice, really vibrant colors. The dynamic range is also adequate. I think the picture profile is just how a normal consumer would want it, and the portrait photos out of this phone is really good for the price. And likewise, the front camera is also good on this one. It has a 13 megapixel selfie camera, and the pictures are sharp. The face tone is also natural, and overall colors selfie is good. So as I said earlier, this one has a very similar spec list to the Samsung A14 5G. So we get the same 6.6-inch PLS LCD panel, 90Hz refresh rate, full HD. So you cannot really compare this screen with the AMOLED panel, and you can also get AMOLED panel from the brands like Xiaomi and even Samsung at this price tag. But it does fine in terms of brightness and colors, but it is not really good when it comes to bezel. Now in terms of operating system, this one comes with Android 13 13 out of the box. It uses One UI Core 5.1. So this is the core version of the One UI. So you are not really getting that full flexible experience of the One UI, but I think you get all the customization features of Android 13. So it's not really that bad. And also the Samsung features, plenty of Samsung features here. So yeah, fine. Also, Samsung promises 2 years of OS upgrades and 4 years of security updates. So that's fine for a budget phone, because if you look at the trend these days, people who own flagship smartphones change their phone 3 years maybe. But I think cheaper smartphones, people who use cheaper smartphones change it regularly, more often, maybe 6 months to 1 year. So yes, the Samsung M14 5G could be one of the best selling smartphones of the 2023, because it is very similar to the A14 5G. And if A14 5G was one of the best selling smartphones, this is even better than the A14 5G minus the design. Yes, it has great battery. It lasts for more than 2 days. The camera is also fine. The display is fine, even if it's not AMOLED. One of the only complaints here should be the performance. The Exynos 1330 is sluggish, except that it's a good phone.
Take leg.